gosh, that was a fast one. Let's see if we can't get that game up. And we've got it. Okay, a lot more sedate. Suddenly we're back in Joko piano. Calm waters. Mishra with white has just played the move b4. He's looking to play knight to c4 and capture this bishop. a7, a6, giving the bishop a square. Knight comes over to g6.
Looking at that f4 square, also playing with the idea of going knight g4, attacking f2.
Yeah.
And we know also the ideas of moving from the diagonal, pushing f5, and just focusing with two knights attacking the white king.
Exactly.
The big question right now is, how is the psychology of these two players? I know Hikaru is elated to have won that.
Yeah.
How down on himself is Mishra? And this is where experience matters, is the question.
Well, if he can recover himself, then you just got to say he's got a remarkable career in front of him.
Yes.
It's so hard to recover from a loss, and a loss that was so undeserved. Painful.
Well, such an emotional set of games.
Yes.
Both of them. With black pieces, I mean, it looked like he was on defensive for the whole game, and then he wins out of nowhere.
Right.
And then he's fully in control with white pieces.
Dominating.
Does everything perfectly. And all the way until those last few seconds, the last 5 seconds, that was the difference.
Queen to b3, and we can see from Mishra's point of view, he would like to play the move rook d1, he would like to play h3, and then finally he's ready for the big advance in the center.
And for black, we can expect some knight f4. Okay, not anymore after g3, which is a very good point.
It's funny, I was playing h2, h3 almost by route, but you're absolutely right. Knight f4 is far more dangerous, so g2, g3 by Mishra. Good move. b5. Again, just kind of getting some extra territory on the queen side. And just to set the scene for anybody who may have been late joining us, we are in the playoffs. We've already played the
first match of Blitz Games, two games where it was a draw, it was equal, so they proceeded to the second match of 2 games, and this is the first game.
Well, it was 2 victories, one for each player, and boy, did Hikaru get lucky to tie the match. And now they are in the second Blitz match. 1.5-half. We'll see either player through.
I have to
next
say,
round.
I'm starting to feel pretty positive for Hikaru's position because
d5, right?
I see d5. I feel like black is the one that's dictating the pace right now.
Yep. The knight on g6 does a yeoman's job. The rook on e6 is actually
ready to go to d6 potentially.
And to cover potential weakness on a6, and as you say, rook d6 and maybe the open d file.
But Miyagi is starting to trade a lot on d5. Yeah, exactly. Takes, and then maybe even d4.
Well, careful. b5 could have been hanging.
Okay, so first take here.
Okay, now
d6.
isn't it time to switch directions?
If you take with the rook, he wants to go rook a to b1, I believe.
So
No,
d4.
rook takes d3.
Yeah, knight takes e5, and I think we would have ended up in.
Okay, after all of the gyrations, truth be told, black has the better structure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. White
Hikaru
pawns are
with slight
disconnected.
chances. Shouldn't be enough for a big advantage by any means.
But this is also...
But he's the one that plays for something.
Yeah, exactly. And Hikaru, he actually loves playing endings. I mean, we all know he's a great tactician and stuff like that. But I remember interviewing here in St. Louis where he said, you know, I live for the endings.
And also, when you look at the clock, Abhimanyu has 42 seconds and Hikaru almost 2 minutes. So
Yeah.
there's at least a minute advantage.
Yeah,
That has been the story of this match. It's always Hikaru who's up on the clock.
yeah. Knight e5 is not exactly the firm square. I think the firm square, funnily enough, is the d6 square.
G6,
Why?
rook to e1.
Knights love anchored squares. For example, this knight on d4 is an anchored square. I was about to say the
He decided to play there, then change his mind just to think a little bit more.
Knight
Knight
b5,
b5.
going towards c7.
I'm not sure I like knight c6.
Knight
What was that all?
a7.
What was that all?
Hikaru really wants to trade that knight.
Rook to e5, I like.
Well, we want to take a pawn as well, right?
Knight to d4. Wait a minute.
Wait, what?
Rook takes a what?
Well, rook takes a4, the problem would be that you go in the 7th rank and then you have all these knight e6 ideas. It would have been problematic.
Okay, so once again, knight a7, knight d4, and you're saying I can't take a pawn because of rook to the 7th?
I believe that would be the case. But let's wait and see whether Hikaru decides to go for something more. Wesley and Linear have finished their first game in a draw.
Okay.
There's absolutely still no separation in that match.
None whatsoever. 5
Lost
draws in a row between those two.
30 seconds for Abhimanyu, and just falling behind 1 minute for Hikaru. He has the option of repeating with 97 if he wants.
Absolutely. Well,
He may go for it, right? Because the next game he's white.
you know, it's funny. Rook takes a4,
Wait a
knight
minute.
takes c7.
No, he's like knight a5, no, knight a7, I'm going back.
Just shaking his head. What was like?
Not in his usual form where everything's flowing. Tell me again. Rook takes a4. What do you do?
Knight c6.
That's a draw.
I think we're going to see a draw.
Yeah.
A Rapiton with knight
That's a
b5,
draw.
and that's a draw.
Um,
Oh, Hikaru offers the handshake.